Can anybody calculate 756 minus 699? The whole thing divided by 699? %8.15%. That means our revenue grew by 8.15% from last year. Further details are not there. I can't calculate of earlier years. But this year revenue grew by 8.15%. Operating cost 628 minus 578 divided by 578. 628 minus 578. The whole thing divided by 578. 628 minus 8.65%. That means their operating expenditures are increasing at a greater rate, not very high, but slightly greater rate as compared to revenue. So obviously if you calculate operating profit margin, nahi nikalna hai. If you calculate in 2021 128 by 756, and if you calculate last year 121 by 699, current year will be lower than last year because the expenditures are increasing at a greater rate than the revenue. Now what can be the logical reason for this? Why that our operating profit margin has gone down? Why that our operating expenses has increased a greater proportion than the sales revenue? Nowhere written in the pre-scene. What can be the logical explanation? Along with this, can we say one more thing, that we are selling our product at a lesser price? Because our competitor is selling cheap product. So we sold more quantity, but we sold at a lesser price. So since we sold more quantity, the operating cost gone up. Maybe the unit cost is same, but the total cost increases at a greater proportion than the revenue. ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है. Can we say? Can we say that? Because nowhere anything written. So one thing is general, that expenditures they are not able to control, they are not able to maintain their maybe cost of sale, maybe admin, maybe selling, because operating expenditure is three things: cost of sale, admin, selling. Then we say total operating expenditures. Which cost has gone up, gone down, we don't know. So either there is inefficiency in cost management, or maybe there is products are sold at a lesser price. The quantity has increased, but the prices are less. And for that reason, they have not been able to maintain their margin. Bad debt is higher. Ho sakta hai. Because bad debt will also be coming under admin and selling. Not in cost of sale, but under admin and selling, that will also come. So maybe they are not managing their credit risk properly, and there is a huge bad debt. Ho sakta hai, yes. Whether it is going to be asked, I don't know. Normally this thing is generally applicable for management or operational level. यहाँ तो थोड़ा और ऊपर सोचना है. लेकिन when the figures are given, थोड़ा तो feeling जगाए ना. Finance cost, as I said, yes. Finance cost, as I said, there is a same debt or maybe same interest rate. For that reason, no change. Tax is obviously, income is more, tax will be more. So there is no logic required. But when you see the balance sheet, then Saurav, the debt amount is same, 200. So ये मन से नहीं बोल रहा हूं, ये तो मैं जानबूझ के ही बोल रहा हूं कि मे बी मैंने बोला, लेकिन नीचे जाके मैं दिखाना चाहता था कि they have the same debt. So that means when the debt amount is same and maybe it's a fixed borrowing, so we are paying the same interest. So ये नहीं बोल सकते कि debt repay किए हैं नहीं किए हैं. No problem. Then they have earned 97 and 42 is the dividend. So 42 by 97, what is the percentage of dividend payout? How much of the profit they are distributing to shareholders as dividend? How much of the profit they are distributing to shareholders as dividend? 43%. Is this good or bad? They are giving 43% dividend to shareholders out of the earnings. How can you say good? How can you say good? How can you say not good? Actually, for saying good or bad, there are two things we need to know. One thing, past history. What is the company's dividend policy? How much dividend they have paid in the past? So that we can correlate with that. The second thing, the effect on the share price. Because if the dividend is less, or if the dividend is bad, or if the dividend is good, then the shareholders will retaliate. Shareholders will not want. Shareholder will not be satisfied. They will sell the shares. तो क्या ऐसा लगता है क्या कि this dividend is bad because the share prices has gone down? Now if you compare the share prices of last 3 years, approximate detail given, तो share prices has always gone up in the company. हरदम दाम बढ़ा ही ऊपर ऊपर ऊपर, बस यहाँ थोड़ा सा 2-3 महीना डाउन है. मे बी आप बोल सकते हैं कि द डिविडेंड इज लोअर, मे बी द डिविडेंड इज नॉट एज पर एक्सपेक्टेशन, फॉर दैट रीजन द शेयर प्राइसेस हैज डाउन गॉन डाउन. ऐसा हो सकता है. बीटा इज ऑल्सो 1.12, सो रिस्क इज ऑल्सो हाई. आई विल से दैट जनरली between 1 to 2 beta is not treated as high, because you invest in share market not as a debt security कि आपको fixed interest मिलेगा. When you invest in securities you are taking risk. मेरे पास जो 20 कंपनी का शेयर है, सबका बीटा ज्यादातर 1 से ऊपर है, सबका. So normally 1.12 1 से ज्यादा है, बट फिर भी ज्यादा नहीं बोलते हैं, ऐसा नॉर्मली माना जाता है. तो वैसे ही स्टैंड अलोन बोलने से लॉजिक देना होगा. तो एक लॉजिक ये दे सकते हैं कि इफ इट इज बैड, रिसेंटली इन लास्ट 2-3 months द शेयर प्राइसेस हैज गॉन डाउन, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द डिविडेंड इज लेस. बट वी आर वेरी ओपन एंड माने very reserved in this, because we want past history. Because if the company has growth projections, the company want to grow, the company has already paid in the past this much dividend only, they are investing most of the money in the business because growth opportunities is there, and in the past they have grown like this. In the last 3 years the shareholders have given positive thumbs up to the company, then तो it is good. Can't say. मतलब शेयर प्राइसेस और पास्ट हिस्ट्री दोनों होता तो बोल पाता, पास्ट हिस्ट्री नहीं है, तो इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू से दैट वेदर डिविडेंड पॉलिसी इज गुड और बैड. आई एम नॉट इन अ पोजीशन टू से वेदर डिविडेंड पॉलिसी इज गुड और बैड. It is not that we need to pay high dividend. It is not that we need to pay low dividend. Microsoft, Infosys, these companies have not paid dividend in first 25 years. एक dividend पैसा नहीं दिया इन्होंने. But still their prices rose like anything. A shareholder get return, dividend and price change both. There are some companies which are giving price growth, not focusing on dividend, focusing on growth, investment. There are some companies which are giving good amount of dividend, but not giving so much price growth. So it depends upon their past history, their business nature. नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, वो जानना मुश्किल है. So we are not in a position to say whether the dividend is good or bad. But then they have paid. जो भी कंपनी ग्रो करता है वो डिविडेंड देता ही नहीं यार, बिकॉज इसीलिए रिलायंस डिविडेंड देगा, बोलेगा 100%, 1 rupee share, 1 rupee dividend, and the price is 2500. I don't want any dividend from Reliance. I want that the 2500 should become 3000. That I want. नहीं चाहिए डिविडेंड मेरे को वहां से. सो इट्स डिपेंड्स ना कि क्या है क्या नहीं है, तो पास्ट हिस्ट्री चाहिए मेरे को. Then we say plant and equipment increased. Increase means depreciation minus plus purchase. So we don't know the movement, but then it is increasing. That means we are growing. We are investing in the business. Your assets increment means you are investing in the business. Growth opportunities are there. Goodwill, maybe we have subsidiary, but there is no impairment in the goodwill. Whatever the subsidiary we have, they are still having the same value because there is no impairment. Development cost. What is development cost? R&D. Research costs are charged to PL account and development expenditures are capitalized. This is a business where R&D is a must. We have a separate R&D department under the director COO, जो कि research and development को देखते हैं, and we have been able to develop this boiler and the pump with our research only. So definitely we always focus on research, development, customer complaints, customer feedback, want to incorporate that. But if the research is there, there is no sure benefit, then that is charged to profit and loss account. But if we do development, We have a research director also. One of the director who is CEO or CEO, I don't remember. He was earlier research director only. One of the executive director. So we are saying that development cost, when you know that you are going to get the benefit, economic benefit will arise, and when you know that you have succeeded something, it is not starting you income, but it will give you income. Then it is treated as development cost capitalized. Okay? Then trade receivables. The receivables has gone up. It's a B2B business. And credit sale is a must in this business. So that for that reason, credit risk is there. Bank balance gone up, good only. Our cash balance is good. So any problem, any contingency, we will be able to manage. Any small project we can do out of the cash balance. Share capital premium, same. Retained earning from the dividend and all only. Borrowing, same. Trade payable slightly gone up. Tax liabilities as per the tax liability. Not huge in that. We can say that we can calculate asset turnover ratio, how much revenue we are generating by utilization of assets. We can calculate debt equity ratio, 200 divided by 608, 200 divided by 553, to analyze the gearing, to analyze the risk, financial risk in the company. We can calculate the interest coverage ratio, which is, you can say 113 divided by 16, 106 by 15, to analyze if we go for funding, debt or anything, whether they will be available or not. So it's a good, financial good. But फिर भी last 3 महीने में शेयर का दाम क्यों गिरा? Then the competitor detail. No, this is our detail only. Then the further detail about our product. In 2020, boiler and heat pump 46 and 54%. Total sale divided into 2 products. In 2021, it is 45 and 55. So 46 to 45, 54 to 55, which is not called a change. It is more or less same. Whereas the world is saying that, the people are saying that boiler will go down and heat pumps will be there. So यहाँ पर हमें ध्यान देना है. Then Norland and Northland, domestic sales 61 to 56 and export sale 39 to 44. So from 20 to 2021, the export sale has gone up and the domestic sale has gone down. The export sale may be at a lesser price to attract the customers. For that reason, our sale has gone up, but the sale price is less, our margin has gone down. Maybe we can say that since we have not been able to develop in 1 year heat pumps more, which is projection, or maybe foreign exchange also, you are correct. Maybe the foreign exchange fluctuation also has reduced the revenue. That means the country to which we are exporting, that country's currency is depreciating. Yes, we can say 100% हर्ष कि हम लोग R&D कर रहे हैं, किए होंगे किसमें मालूम नहीं है. But then we did the R&D so that we can improve the sales of heat pumps, but we couldn't succeed. And for that reason, the shareholders retaliate. If you compare total 3-year history, it is a good return. But if you take last 2-3 months, then it is not good. So maybe that is the reason. We are just saying maybe. We cannot say with conformity. Then we talk about the competitor. The revenue on a standalone basis is greater than us, but the growth is very less. Our revenue is lower, but their revenue is greater, but their revenue is increment is very less. The operating cost increment is also not so high. So their operating margin is greater than last year. Our operating margin is lesser than last year. Their finance cost has gone down. They have repaid their debt in the balance sheet, debt has gone down. The tax expense, profit is more, tax is more. So there is one problem in the competitor. They have not been able to grow their sales like that, but they have been able to generate profit margin better than last year. So they are better in other areas, but in growth area, they are not good. Why? They are selling the products at a lesser price. Maybe they are offering their product at more discount to compete with us. Maybe. Because why their sales have not grown? But if their sales have not grown due to quantity, then so we are doing well. Because when we are able to attract more and more customers, that means we are good. Maybe our profit is less, maybe our margin is less, but in the long run we will be able to sustain. So I don't know what is the reason that their growth in sales is very less. If it is because of more and more discount they are offering, then also it is good for us. Because if you offer less price, then one time customer will ask free. We should not offer a discount beyond the limit. It is always said as long-term business principle. Or if their quantity is less and we have been able to sell more, maybe by offering some discount, we are doing good. But they have been able to maintain their profit margin, improve their profit margin and all that better than us. That we can say. You can't write due to limited information, because in the class we are discussing. In the write-up I will write for you. But in the exam you are the senior finance manager. You know everything. You can't write like that. You can word it like this, maybe. Not saying that this because of limited information. You can say that this can be the reason. Now you are saying something for justification, I am saying something. Both are correct. Your logic is different, my logic is different, both are correct. But we can't say that because of information deficiency, we are saying this, then which we are not the senior finance manager of the company. So it's not an exam. It's asking you that you are the senior finance manager of the company. Okay? So nobody can write that because of information deficiency, I cannot write this, that is not allowed. Now out of 130, 82 is the dividend. So 82 by 130, what is the percentage? 82 by 130, what is the percentage? How much dividend? 63. We are paying 42. So they are paying 1/3 higher. But it's not that they are good than us. No. Somebody is paying more dividend, they are better than you. Who said? Whether their share price movements given, whether it is given that in the last 3 years their share prices has grows better than us, whether in the last 3 months also they are performing better than us, how can we say that? Maybe they have this policy only, they are paying good dividend, more dividend than us, maybe. They need to maintain their policy, we need to maintain our policy. Just on the basis that 63% is greater than 42, not advisable that they are good better than us. We can't say like that. That is not the story in dividend. But you can see that their assets are less than us. So with the less assets, they are generating more revenue. They are utilizing their assets efficiently than us. Our assets are more than 476 in total. But our sales revenue are not that much. Their assets are less and their sales revenue is greater. So they are utilizing their assets well. They are controlling their expenditures well. They are generating profit margin well. Just that they have not been able to grow like us. We have been able to grow from last year to current year well. But they have not been able to grow like that. But otherwise, in other areas, they are better than us. Trade receivable in their case has gone down. Yes, that is return on equity and all that is better. Because they are performing better than us. Na? Trade receivable gone down, in our case gone up. So they may be managing their receivable better, or maybe their sale growth has not happened because they are not offering credit. Their sale has not gone up so much because they are not offering proper credit. They are more reserved. They are following conservative credit policy now. Maybe because of earlier they suffered huge bad debt. Bank balance in their case also has gone up, so their financials is not bad. It's good. The competitor is actually a good competitor for us. Borrowings is same, but still their interest has gone down. Maybe. So for that reason they are hampering on the growth, but their finance costs gone down. Even though same debt, but that means they are negotiating with the debt providers further. Now there is an interesting thing. If you calculate 9 and 10 interest divided by debt amount 90. So 9 by 90, 10%. Last year 10 by 90 greater than 10%. And in our case, if you calculate interest rate, that is 200 is the debt and interest is 15, though it is coming 7.5%. We are paying on debt 7.5% interest, but they are paying on debt last year greater than 10%, current year 10%. That means their credit worthiness in the market is not like us. Because if Ambani is going for a loan, Prakash Saraf is going for a loan, Ambani will be getting very better interest rate. So they belong to the same industry, same business, but the credit rating for hot air is much better than the credit rating of the competitor. What is the name? Thermex. The name of the competitor is Thermex. A very difficult name. Thermvac. Thermvac is the name, and they are paying more interest rates on the debt as compared to ours. That means the lending institutions are not considering them as credit worthiness. But then they have been able to negotiate and reduce their interest rate. It's still far higher than us. 7.5% to 10%. You will say only 2.5. You know that Kotak Bank, 4% to 6%. Don't consider only 2% high, 50% more. Interest rate is not considered like this, 7.5 to 10, only 2.5%. It is considered in basis point. 2.5% is called 250 basis point, because 1% is called 100 basis point. So 2.5% is called 250 basis point. So their interest rate is 250 basis point higher than us. Why? I don't know. Simple reason, their credit worthiness is not like us. But there is a confusion in the mind. They have financials good. They are utilizing their assets better. They are giving the return on equity better, operating margin better. Why their credit worthiness is lower, man? Why? Nothing is written anywhere. I can't see. We can't see. कि कोई ज्यादातर एरिया में मेरे से बढ़िया है, better than me, but फिर भी उसका credit rating मेरे से खराब है. क्यों? There is one another reason we can say. Suppose we borrowed at a time when the interest rate was down, and we borrowed fixed rate, and they borrowed at a time maybe the interest rate is high, fixed rate, or maybe the interest rate is fluctuating, and now the interest rate market all over the world is going. इंडिया में इन्फ्लेशन और बढ़ा, अभी आरबीआई इंटरेस्ट रेट और बढ़ाने वाला है. In most of the world market, whether Europe or US, सभी जगह interest rates are increasing. So their borrowing is floating, our borrowing is fixed. So we are paying 7.5% because we have fixed rate borrowing and they are floating rate borrowing. Periodicity also could be a reason, maybe that also, because we calculate effective interest rate. Yes, that also can be possible. तो क्या रीजन है बोलना मुश्किल है. All permutation combination we are thinking. Might be hot air may take buyer's credit. हो सकता है, ले सकता है. But then you can say a basic financial analysis which will be required when we will be writing our answers. ये मेरे तरफ से एक समरी था. I have not read one by one line, one by one paragraph, which even though I will read in the class, you all have to read this. I have not said anything. I have just said in my language, in my reading, in my understanding what they are giving in the pre-scene material. No discussion of anything. Simple, short summary of the industry which is given in the pre-scene and of the company hot air. Then